Oh, this could end quite badly for me. Okay, so before I get into this, I have to lay this out rather carefully because, on the one hand, I have to make some generalized statements or guesstimates about people at large, and I could be wrong, or I have to give my own take of the situation, which is going to potentially involve me putting myself on a higher tier, and so I will look conceited, so I'm kind of screwed either way. So Sargon, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, posted this on Twitter about Andrew Tate. To me, Cobra Tate is the idealized man of the lunar civilization. He upholds no higher ideals, instead his lifestyle is excessively telluric, and he achieved the apex of decadence. Little wonder the blind men of this civilization see him as an idol. To them, there is nothing else. Personally, I think Sargon is massively up his own ass with that first assessment. No offense, of course, I'll give my reasoning in a moment. I want to point out that I don't even dislike Tate. Yeah, just his fans apparently. I view him as the product of a civilization that is destined to produce men like him because it has no place for men not like him. I suspect that Tate probably would prefer not to have made a success in the way he did. That's debatable, but I don't know for sure. I think this is correct. He exists in the world feminism created. I would say more polluted, not so much created, and has taken advantage of the free access to sexuality and wealth that this facilitates. He is a modern man in the most literal sense of the word. Here is a great example of just how bad this world is for men. There is nothing left of solar masculinity, but lunar femininity holds vast amounts of power, and Tate has understandably constructed a lunar masculinity to take advantage of that fact. Every minute there is an attack on masculinity and the attempt to reduce it to femininity. Base Sargon for admitting masculinity is in fact above femininity, excellent choice of words. It is inescapable in our civilization, and it is no wonder that Tate appears to be a shining light to young men these days. Okay, there's a few things I want to discuss, going through technology, capitalism, feminism, and the destruction of the natural order. Now, as I said before, I think Sargon is massively up his own arse, because the line, "Little wonder the blind men of this civilization see him as an idol, and to them there is nothing else." That to me is extremely elitist and arrogant to lump all of his followers together as blind men. Or at least the ones who idealize him, but that's still idealization, that's not messianic kind of worship. That to me comes across like it's flirting with my purity acid test concept, because again, it's the 80-20 bad to good split. But the good is what wins you the crowd, which is not a surprise by the way. Sargon is focusing on the decadence, I am not. My perspective is coming from a different place. I focus on the 20% because I'm not suckered in by the 80% I do not wish to replicate. Other people might not do that, by the way. Maybe it's only myself and a handful of others. Oh, there goes my ego again. Now, as far as the rest is concerned, I think that's the creation of a toxic concoction of technology, feminism, and capitalism. I'm of the opinion that the worst chaotic excesses of feminism is brought to fruition through capitalism. I think capitalism is the catalyst for that excess. If your society pursues equality, you are going to destabilize the equilibrium of the natural order, where men are above women. Men and women are not equal, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't give a damn about your stupid political opinion. I'm talking about effectiveness here. They have different roles. There is a social aspect to this role. On the one hand, if you push for equality, you are pushing women into arenas where they do not belong. You are making them compete against men and pushing them into taking the provider role away from men. This is a man's role. This is why feminism is so stupid. It's duped women into thinking that power is financial well-being and independence because, again, feminism is very narrow-minded. It can in no way conceptualize that the idea of power, however you want to frame this, is entirely different depending on the sex of the wielder. If you go old school, state of nature, you are still going to have to expend calories hunting in search of food to sustain you. If you try your hand in the market, you're still relying on other people to find value in you and your labor, so your stability and independence, such as it is not quite as self-sufficient as the former. You're still relying on others in that sense. A man goes through hell to forge himself into something worthy for a suitable mate, because again, power is entirely different depending on the sex of the wielder. This power that the man accrues is used to court a mate in this sex dynamic. a bond forms, the male shares his wealth with his female companion. Contrary to what some dozy feminist bint is leading young women to believe, this is not used to dominate women. The man provides the resources so that the woman does not have to, so she can use it to take care of the offspring, because he cannot produce offspring. That's a woman's role. They're sort of biologically wired for it. I don't know if people realize that. I don't quite know how stupid people have become these days. Again, men want to feel needed, and if a woman already has all of these attributes to herself, a man will ask, well, what the hell am I here for then? And like I said before, there's a certain section of women that will cash in on their youth and looks. Couple that with men still having that social need that would normally be satisfied by becoming the providers, not being fulfilled in a healthy way, they seek it alternatively via the market solution. OnlyFans. Welcome to simping culture, which is not good for anyone. Now, the reason why we have this screwed up, warped up worldview, I think is capitalism and this stupid thing. I remember Brett Weinstein said, using this example, if you go back to previous times and you're a farmer living next to another farmer, if he produces 5 times what you do, it's because he knows something that you don't. Your perception of the world is a lot more localized. But you bring in this stupid thing, television, the Instagram filter life. You're not interfacing with the real world, you're seeing snippets. So this distorts your perception of reality and gives you this incredibly skewed perception of it. When the youth drown themselves in this 1% lifestyle and they see the cars, the money, the house, the women, all that stuff, this exposure throws a monkey wrench into the people's programming. Girls will think, if I want that stuff, I need to look like one of those skanky-ass chicks. Once I'm that, this is the kind of man I am entitled to. And the guy thinks the apex of masculinity is the pursuit of that empty, excessive decadence. It gives this unholy expectation of what to expect because you're staring at the 1%. Most people cannot be the 1%, and they never will be. And that's fine, by the way, but that's a mathematical certainty. So saturating yourself in its digital embrace is going to fist your unrealistic expectations through your asshole. Yeah, try and picture that image. Personally, I think that's a lack of religion, that race to please the senses, that materialism above all else kind of mindset. That, and I think giving in to basic impulses makes you a pathetic man. You're easily tempted and you have no self-control. You're weak-minded. Discipline requires iron will, strong character. And again, I think capitalism drives that into overdrive because it's what capitalism does exceedingly well. But it needs a throttle once in a while. You can't drive the engine in 6 all damn day, you'll burn it out. Our system is probably far too complex to use this example, but say you somehow figured out how to cut your workload by 40%, but you can keep your output the same, maybe even improve it a little. The sensible reaction would be, I can slow down, pursue other things that improve my lot as a human being, appeals to my soul in terms of an art, for example, or some other skill set that improves my mind. But the capitalist argument is just, work harder, you can improve profit margins even beyond the 40%. But why? If the whole point was to work more efficiently to save time, why must the time saved always be used to still further push profit margins above everything else? You're just trading time for yet more profit in an endless loop, with the profit always taking the priority. Someone care to explain to me why exactly is that good? And that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.